If you're running ads and revenue is coming in, but the profit still feels stuck or random, this video is for you. In the next 5 minutes, I'll show you how to quickly check where your store might be leaking money. I'll be giving away everything for free, going through the whole process, what I call the dollar process, going from the lead seeing your ad to purchasing to repurchasing again and again and again. One important rule before we start: metrics do not exist alone. A bad number does not mean you know what to fix. This is only about spotting leaks. Usually there is a combination of those bad numbers that cause the issue. So here we're not deciding what to change, it's about finding it. Let's start at the very top. CPC, cost per acquisition. So we're at the traffic cost layer. Here, a potential client sees your ad, whether on TikTok, Meta, Snapchat, YouTube, any platform, and then they decide whether they're interested in that ad or not. This is where you're buying attention. So if they see your ad and they decide to click on it, you bought a click. So this is where cost per click comes from. Cost per click, it's market dependent. So if your CPC is extremely high for your market, then the traffic quality might be an issue. Your ads might not be crafted in a good way. If it's reasonable, but performance is bad later on in the funnel, then CPC is probably not your problem. The problem must be downstream. So add to cart, etc. We'll go to that. So this step is where you're paying for attention. Next, we check our sessions or traffic volume. Usually you can find those in Shopify or your Google Analytics. It depends on what platform you're using. So the sessions measure how many people actually reached your store. Usually some people click on the link but don't actually reach your store. This number is like 5 to 10%. So it's either they're not tracked, the page took too long to load, they just quit, or something like that. There's many reasons for that. So low sessions mean our tracking could be the problem or our delivery. So if you're spending money but sessions are very low, the issue may be the delivery or tracking. If your sessions are healthy though, we move down the funnel. Next, we hit the first real conversion metric, the add to cart rate or ATC. You'll find it in your Shopify analytics as we can see here. So basically, when our potential client clicked on our ad, they get taken to a product details page. This is where the lead decides if they're just merely interested or they have intent of buying. Now, the benchmarks, if your add to cart is below 3 to 4%, you have a problem. If it's 4 to 8%, it's acceptable. Usually most stores are in that range. If it's 8 or more, then it's really good. Next, our checkout rate. After that lead decided that they are interested, they picked a couple of our products. Now it's time to check out. This rate measures how many people who added to cart decide to begin checkout. Low rate means interest was present, but confidence broke down before the payment actually started. So roughly the signals are if you have below 50% checkout rate, there is a friction or hesitation problem going in the cart page. And if it's around 60 to 70%, that's generally healthy. So if people add to cart but don't start the checkout, there's a confidence or clarity of issue. Something is confusing here before payment even starts. So you have to fix that before they get to pay you money, to give you money. So after that, we go to the checkout completion page. Percentage of people who start checkout and actually pay you. The typical ranges for this is if it's below 40%, this is a red flag. If it's 50 to 60, that's solid. Low completion usually means something breaks trust or creates friction at the last step. And this is very important. Why? At this step, there is a lot to be done. You're asking a lot of your client or of your potential client. They have to fill their number, they have to fill their email, their billing information, a lot. The less friction at this stage, the better. Because as you can see, 40 to 50% of the people drop at this stage. They could have gotten a notification, they leave, they could have been scared because of the price or anything. This is why most people that want to start retargeting, they retarget at that stage. The leads are the warmest here. And this is one of the most expensive leaks when ignored. Now, let's step back and look at the CAC, customer acquisition cost. This is your total ad spend divided by your purchases. CAC by itself does not tell you if your ads are good or bad. CAC only makes sense relative to your margins, profits, and your repeated purchases. So CAC is basically how much you're paying to get a customer. And businesses where you're doing paid advertisement, you have three numbers. There's the cost of goods sold, COGs, there's the margins, and there's your CAC. So you're paying to get the product done and ready. You're paying to find the customer for that product. And then this is your cost. And this whole funnel, our goal was to lower our CAC, optimize our CAC. But CAC is very dependent on two main factors. LTV, long-term value, which is out of scope. We're gonna explain it later on. And repeat purchases, or what I like to call the silent multiplier. What does this mean? Imagine this. A client sees your ad. They like the product. They like the store. They like the brand. They come in and they buy the first time. The first time you're paying CAC on that sale. So you're paying to get this customer. But once you got this customer, if that person decides to buy again and again and again, every single purchase they do is for free. You don't pay for acquisition. So your CAC goes to zero. This is why repurchase rate is very important. And this is why it's the silent multiplier. Though if you have low repurchase rate, it might not hurt you at the start. It might not hurt your revenue today, but it will destroy your profit tomorrow. Say you have a CAC of, I don't know, $11 to $15. That's $11 to $15 that can be added to your profits. So yeah, if your repurchase rate is less than 20%, ads are doing all the work. So you're always getting new people. If it's 30 or more, your ads are safer. If it's 40 or plus, this is where real leverage comes in. Now, most stores don't have one leak. Statistically, every store has 3 to 6 leaks. And fixing the wrong one first will do you more harm than good. It will make things worse. So, if you're interested in knowing where your store is leaking money, you can either DM me or click the button below this video to book your call and see where we can help you. Peace.